There we go, guys. I had the cameras on rather than hiding behind them. So you were able to watch me trying to get everything set up. Not quite set up, but I'm mighty, mighty close. I got to put water, agua, the liquid stuff, into my, whoa, into my glass. So tonight, on tonight's show, hey, did you see the title tonight? I shoot, but I never kill. What am I? Boy, if you guys don't get that, you are really, 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 really way off. Okay, so now I got the water, I got the mic. Let's test the water. Yeah, it's room temperature. I should have gotten the bottle out of the refrigerator instead of just right off the counter. Duh. All right, so let's see. What camera are we running now? Let's fix the other camera in case anybody does tune in tonight. Of course, the invitation's in the description. All you got to do is log on, and from there, it's up to me. I could very well screw it up. Okay, so that was the last thing I needed to fix. All right, so I took off the black and white, I took off the blur, and I did it on this camera because when we do get guests that come in, I have to use this camera. I can't use one of the revolving cameras. So I was playing that classical music and I forgot to turn the camera back on. All right, so now let's see how can I type on this thing? Will it accept the typing? Yes, it will. Okay. Okay, next. Friday is an Easter church night for me, and there will be no show. Happy Easter. I didn't spell Easter right. Okay. So what I need this to do is go across the bottom of the screen. And I want it to be a scrolling ticker. That looks good. Okay, let me add that and see what happens. Okay, I think that's a little bit too fast. So let's slow it down. Okay, so that's my announcement. Next Friday, there's not going to be a show because it's a church night. Next week is Easter week, so this Sunday is Palm Sunday. So Palm Sunday is the start of Easter week. Now, the what I call it the American Easter, which means everybody but us, and the Greek Easters are usually at different times because it's got something to do with which calendar you're on. One's on a Gregorian calendar, and the other one is on, what's the other calendar? Whatever that one is. And they're never the same time. But this year, it is the same time. Okay. So now that I fixed this camera and my mic is on, thank you, Carlos. And now I can go to the normal cameras and they can revolve. All right. So anybody that wants to join in, the link is not too close to the top in the description. Just join in. I'll see you. I'll put you in the green room. And when I'm ready to put you up, I'll put you up and we can have some people coming in tonight. That's if you want to. I don't want anybody to feel bad about not being able to, and I don't want you to feel bad about actually coming in. I open it for a reason. Make it the show more interesting. Okay, so the title of the show is I shoot but never kill. Who am I, or what am I? Now, you guys, of all the people in the planet, should be able to get that one. So let's come over here and see who got it. And we'll do a few more of those. First, Sammy's saying hi. Hi, Sammy. I haven't talked to you in a while. I miss you. So, it's good to see you. I love you, Sammy. Jeff, this is quite an interesting... I wonder how you did this week. Yeah, you can, if you want to log on and tell me what happened, that's fine. Carlos, I saw you. I just brought you in the green room, but I want to do the introduction a little bit first before I start with putting all the guests up on the screen. So last week, Jeff and me and Jeff and Scotty and Randy. Okay, so we were trying to pick a lens out for his trip. Okay, so that is Jeff. He's saying good day. Hi to everybody. Hi, Hal. Oh, I'll be seeing you in a few minutes, Hal. He's in my green room. Okay, so I got to put these buds on before I bring you guys in. Otherwise, we'll have a heck of a mess. One heck of a mess. Okay. And I do see Carlos is here. Guest is in the green room. Oh, I got some questions for you tonight, Carlos. Better turn your brain on. Turn that brain on. Find the switch and turn it on. Well, we're all going to play, okay? We're all going to play. So Hal says hi. Norm says Merry Christmas. And good evening to Greggy's around the world. Patty, how you doing, Patty? She is here tonight. I'm happy to see you, love you. And she says, hello, a big fat hello. And Jeff is the first one that says a Canon. You're close. Actually, you're correct. The way you spelled it is correct. Okay. But it could be actually what Norm says. It's a camera. Okay. So what's the question again? I shoot, but I never kill. It's a camera. So I got a few of those. I try to collect them during the week, and then come Friday night, dang, I can't remember the stupid things. So Peter, in his infinite wisdom, wrote it down. Okay, and I'm gonna work. You guys that that's gonna be on the camera. I mean on the live show. A Canon, who I am. You're actually correct because the Canon is a camera. Now, if you put two N's in the middle of that, Jeff, okay, so listen to me, Jeff, okay, a Canon is a Canon, and that would be the Canon camera, which eventually we will get around to. Right now, we're on the Nikon, okay? So I shoot, but I never kill, and that would be a camera, and Canon is a camera. Now, if you were thinking a Canon like boom, okay, that's Canon, And I'm not really correcting you, Jeff, because I have gotten that wrong for years. When I say years, I mean years. Okay, what else do I type wrong? Discipline and disciples. Man, do I get those two screwed up royally. You have to have discipline. You have to have disciples. That's for somebody that can't type, okay? What can I tell you? All right, so you guys are telling me the sound was off, so I'm going to bypass that because it should be fine now. Here's Lewis. Lewis, do I need to ask you what town are you in? Because I know you went to Vegas. Vegas. Are you back from Vegas? Okay, so hi to Mr. Camera Junkie, who will be live tomorrow night. And Jeff says, Magic Moment Photography, I cannot figure out where to go for live chat. Don't worry, Jeff. you had such a tough time last week, okay? But the link is in the description below, okay? And you have to click that link. You'll get a new window, and you have to shut off what we're watching now. And then you will be able to come on in that new window. Now, if you keep the old window open, Madonna mia, we're going to have a big mess. There's the Canon. Jeff, there's the Canon. Okay. So you're going to go into a new Chrome window, which when you click that link or copy and paste and click it, it will give you the way to get in. And you'll remember once you did it before. Mark, hi, Peter. I'm back in the cold tundra of Minnesota. Oh, I have put this man everywhere but the right place. Wisconsin, Michigan, and now in Minnesota. But the accent should give it away. Mark is all of you are wonderful friends to me. You really are. Mark, you want to come on? Put yourself live. There's a link down below. Okay. Now, since you haven't done this before, I don't think you're going to do it, but it gives me the opportunity to explain. Okay. So I will explain. So in the description, about 10, 15 lines, you'll see something that says Ecamm, and it's twice. Okay, that's a link. If you copy and paste that link, or if you can click on it, I don't know if it's clickable, okay, it'll open up a new window in your browser, in your Chrome browser, and it does have to be Chrome. I'm not running that part. Ecamm, the software, is running that part. All right. So when that opens up, you have to choose your camera, wherever it's plugged into your computer, and you have to choose your microphone, wherever or whatever you have plugged into your computer. It could be an iPhone, okay? You just have to direct it to where to go, all right? And then at the, I think, if I recall, there's a place to put your name, and that's where you would put Mark, or Bob, Carol, Ted, Alice, whatever the name is, okay? And then you click join. Now, when you click join, you'll see the show in its own window, and that is what you have to watch. Because if you play the show, it's going to feed back through my microphone, and you'll have, what do they call that when you have that feedback? Terrible feedback. Like on the radio, when they tell you, turn down your radio, okay? It's the same thing. So we do have some guests, so I need to start putting this on because, like I said, the same rules apply for me as they apply for you. I have to put the earbuds in, turn my speakers off. I'll do that in a second. I'm going to put this behind me. Okay. So I got my earbuds in. Now that's so I can hear you when you talk when I put you on. And I will be putting you guys on momentarily. Keep your pantyhose on. Okay, so where was I? I was with Mark. So Mark is back in the cold. So he does have a house in Florida. Okay. And so he comes down and visits from Florida. I need just a little more wire so I can hide this wire. I like my show to kind of look a little bit professional. Okay. So I got my earbuds in. I got my long hair, which next week is Easter. So next Friday there won't be a live show, but I'll put a thing going in the back. So he's back up north where it's nice and cold. And I love you, Mark. I love all you guys. Carlos is saying hi to Lewis. Mr. Camera Junkie says, I wish I was still in Las Vegas, but I am home. I didn't get to go to NAB because my co-pilot, Aiden, was not allowed on the show floor. Oh my gosh. There's so many things that go through my mind, but if you want to come on, you can explain it. You know how to come on. Click the link. And I'm just making it more interesting by having more people coming on. So Mark is laughing, probably laughing at me because I probably did something dumb again. Mr. Camera Junkie is saying hi to Carlos. Let me move to my office and see if I can make it happen. Take your time. It's a learning experience, Mark, and everybody, as you guys can tell. All right, so you guys are waiting in the wings. I'm getting ready to bring you on, okay? It'll be another second or two, so don't get flustered. Don't get your pantyhose in a knot. These are all lines from movies. I'm not being nasty, okay? And Mark says, 2 little single videos with indoor plumbing. 2 little single what? Wides. Oh, he's talking about the Florida. 2 single wides. So he's got a mobile home in Florida. Hurricane place. Great place to put a mobile home. But at least it doesn't snow. He won't have snow coming in. Okay. All right. So now let's get this started. I need to go to the correct camera because I have learned I can't use the revolving cameras. Okay. Okay, so that can't be there. I'm going to move that down. Way down. All right, I'll leave that running for a little bit. All right, so now let's see how much I can mess this up. I'm getting pretty good at this, honestly. So I'm going to take Hal. I'm going to put him to my right. There's the handsome dude. I said, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the handsomest guy in Florida? And Hal came up. So, and it's a me thing. Saying the wrong name. Don't anybody get pissed off, all right? So say testing 1, 2, 3, just so I can put you in right.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
All right, you sound great. Okay. Now, let's put Carlos and put him in. Oh, he looks just like a Carlos. It's the most handsome man in California.
What's going on?
Two handsome dudes.
You keep sending me invitations. I was like, eventually I have to accept one, you know?
You could sleep tonight if you wanted, if you're off. Oh, I was hoping you'd come on because I am going to twist your mind. And you too, Hal. I'm not leaving you out.
All right.
So what happens?
Good to meet you, Hal.
Oh, Hal. Hal is in South Florida.
Yep.
Okay. And cool. Carlos is right next to you, Hal. He's in California. Okay.
Yep. 3 hours time difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that's why sometimes he can't make it.
Right.
So. Let's see who's trying to come in. Scotty. Let's put Scott. I think this should put us into a 4 block. Yes, there's Scott. Hi, Scott.
Right. Hey, Scott.
Hello.
There. Oh, your sound is good too. Oh my God. So well, that's fantastic.
Takes a while for me to comprehend things.
But... And you look so good tonight. Let's see. Let me put you up. That's me. That's not you. You don't have to go changing anything.
Okay.
I just have to figure out how to fix it, but give me a second. And I will bring you up here. And your name is Scott. So let's go to Scott.
Last time I checked.
Yeah, last time you checked. Okay, so I can do that when you're full screen, and that's all of you. However, when I put you back, I got a feeling you're going to be too small. Yes. Ooh. And that is why I did that.
Do you want me to go horizontal?
If it doesn't mess everything up, yeah. But if it does,
go.
I'm going to turn the Easter thing off. I won't be live next Friday, guys, so everybody knows, all right?
Okay. Is
Okay, so now I'll readjust the
that's
sizing.
next Friday is Good Friday?
Next Friday is Good Friday, but the Greek Orthodox Easter and the American Easter this year, once every 4 years, coincide at the same dates because one's on the Gregorian calendar and the other's on the Julian calendar. And there's more rules, which I don't know all the rules, but they just not wind up never being together. This year they're together. So this Sunday, day after tomorrow, is going to be Palm Sunday for everybody, including the Orthodox, the Greeks. And then next Sunday will be Easter, and next Friday will be Good Friday. So the Orthodox celebration of the resurrection, I like to call it the resurrection,
Right.
okay, is got a church service every single night. Now, I don't go to every church service, but I help and I watch on different feeds from New York. Let's see, New York. St. Mark's is where? On Sample Road. What's on Sample Road? Where is that, Hal? That's what city? Boca Raton. Okay, that's Boca.
Yeah.
Which we did have a plane crash in Boca today, right? So that was
I
not
heard about that.
Yeah, that was, and
I hope-
everybody
I hope-
died. So
Was Boca Bushido in that? I hope not.
no. Boca Raton
Yeah.
is the rat, and it's BOCO, where Boca Bushido needs to make his camera a little. No, don't do anything, Carlos. I'll handle it from here. Not that I know how, but I can do it by your name. Getting smart in my old age. There he is, Boca Bushido. And I will make him, look how nice he looks. And he's going like, Peter, what are you doing to me, Peter? I'm brightening you up and contrasting
You're wearing your
down.
best colors tonight, Peter. You're wearing your best colors tonight.
Yes, I should. If I was live next week, this would be my Easter shirt, right? Because it's red.
Okay.
Okay, but I won't be live next week. Maybe Sunday night
Right.
I'll pop on live, but I'm not going to announce it because if we go to the family's house for Easter Sunday, I never know what time I'm getting home. Probably you guys would be in the same boat. So, hi to you guys. Let's see, anybody else
Hey.
trying to join? It's so exciting. It makes the show so much nicer to have some activity and some real people. So, let me start. Right next to me is Hal. All right, Hal is right here in South Florida.
Yep.
He's a fellow Christian buddy now.
Yep.
Okay, we exchanged texts. I did go to the church that you're
you're able
working
to
at.
watch it.
Pastor Todd, I think was his name.
Yep.
Okay.
With 11 cameras.
And
Did you
man,
count 'em all?
what a production! Holy cow! What do you do there when you're in that production?
I run the camera that's next to the stage, a jib. So it's an arm, and I can move it back and forth and do tight shots. That's the
Is
one
it
that's always like moving.
Is it manual or is it with like a
Well, I'm
joystick?
standing at the end of the long arm and
The jib.
running it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that
like a
long
PT
arm.
jib.
Okay,
24
so
feet.
that is it like a pole and like that, and you move it around?
Yeah, it has weights on the back, about 300 pounds, and then it's on a pivot, and you can turn, and then I
And
can
you move
remote the camera. I can do the zoom, focus, pan, tilt, lift, and all that remotely at the back end.
And what are you looking at to do that remote with?
It's the equipment.
iPhone
No, it's the equipment from
from the company
the company, yeah, Stanton.
that does that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. So you do the camera on the right. So when I'm looking at it,
Close to the stage by the cross.
okay,
If you see
So-
the cross, the jib's right next to the cross.
and
we
you're
have two
running,
jibs.
and you're running that one.
Yes.
So that is a pretty large production. Okay. So,
Yes, it's 11 cameras. We have
Wow.
we have 3. What's the top Sony camera?
cinema camera.
Yeah, it's like Vista or something.
Okay.
But we have 3 of them on backpacks, and with
Oh.
the cable that they use for Top Gun. Remember, they separated the head from the body.
Mm-hmm.
That's the cameras we have handheld, and we just hold the camera part and the camera brains in the backpack, and we have
All right, so
those roam around.
after watching a few of the broadcasts from that church, I have a question. I'm pretty sure the answer is no, but it's a curiosity that I have. Do you have any camera that's operating on a wireless where you can walk around?
Yes,
You
we
do?
have 3 wireless cameras, and those do
Ah,
where you have the host that say, "Hey, welcome, I'm watching." Those are
yeah.
all wireless, and they
How's the
have
reception?
this is TV broadcast ones, the same ones they used for the golf channel. So
Oh,
all the cameras you see on the golf course are all wireless.
I didn't
Uh,
know that, but it's not something I would have in the Christmas room then.
no, they're like in the $50,000 range per
I'd rather
camera.
have a Tesla, honestly.
But they transmit intercom, tally, and also camera control. So you can adjust the iris and the color and stuff remotely. So it does quite a bit.
Wow, that's cool.
It is,
Mhm.
and I know you like this stuff. Well,
Well,
both of you guys.
I've been broadcasting my entire career, so this is
Okay.
type of stuff I've been in. Yes.
So
I
So
have
it's
my
easy for
transitioning.
you. It's easy for you.
This is my video camera.
It's a
Ah,
great one.
what number do you got?
You won't believe it if I told you.
This is a 10.
Oh
Well,
my gosh, you have a 10.
I
Oh
had
my
a
god.
7 until
A
about
7?
8 months ago.
Wow, it still works, huh? It's still
But
working.
it did. In fact, I did a lot of video clips of bands, and they posted them and used them for promo. But anyway, I am on the 11 now, cutting edge.
So
Yeah,
you're
cutting
one
edge.
ahead of me, and here I was going to laugh that hey, I'm ahead of Scotty. So you're
Uh-huh.
one
Did you
ahead of
have-
me.
Did
Darn.
you have the Did you have the SE before that?
I don't know what I had. I get
Okay.
hand-me-downs from my brother, who's
Mm.
a gadget freak. Okay,
That's what you
so
want.
that's
Yeah, the
it's
iPhone
perfect.
quality is amazing.
It does pretty
It-
well.
It is, huh?
But
It's incredible.
Hal just said something, and I'm going to transition this into cameras for a little bit. Okay.
Mhm.
They keep coming out with new cameras, and we all know that. We see, that they use YouTubers now as their main means
Mhm.
of,
Advertising.
announcing new cameras. They entice them by taking them to trips
Yep.
to Hawaii, Japan, and
Mhm.
and now all the broadcasts open up with, "I was not given any money," like they have to put that in as if it's going to color their thoughts. Well, this might sound a little bit aggressive, but if somebody flew me to Japan, I'm going to be a little on the nice side, okay? I don't care if it's a piece of crap, I'm not going to come out and go like I would do with OM cameras. They just came out with another brand new camera, and it's still their highest price camera, and it still has the mini, small, tiny HDMI plug. I was shocked. They did the same mistake when they made the Mark II, and now
Yeah.
they did it again. So they're on my poop list, okay? I can't believe they would do that to the people, okay? It's just not right. But Hal,
We have
you
an
said
addiction
something.
to micro HDMI, right, Peter? We have an addiction to micro HDMI for some reason. What's the deal
Yeah,
with
I've got one. I think I got 2 cameras in here that have that, but that's
It's so
not true.
fragile.
Anyway, that's not that important. What I do want to say, they keep coming up with new cameras, and one of the things that they never seem to put into play is what Hal just said: a tally light.
Mhm.
that?
I switch cameras in here, and
Mhm.
if you watch my show for any period of time, you'll hear me say something like, "Which camera am I on?" Because I
Mhm.
don't know. I'd have to either read it in the corner of my screen, but it
Mhm.
would be nice if that would be a feature that they would
Um,
add. Go ahead.
Do you use you use Ecamm, right?
Yes, I to do all that.
Do you use a Stream Deck to control what you're doing on the Ecamm?
No, I'm letting Ecamm cycle through the cameras
Okay.
automatically.
Because there is a
Right.
company that came out with tallies that connect to your Stream Deck. So when you press like a macro to run it to the switcher, it actually runs a tally light now. A company just made that recently.
That's one step forward.
Right.
So it's close to
Um,
what you want, but not really.
yeah. I would have to
Right.
manually push the buttons on the Stream
Yes.
Deck is where you got the 15 buttons and you pick the
Yes.
camera,
Right.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Right.
I got that in the kitchen, believe it or not. Okay.
Mm.
I don't label the cameras in there, and when I'm stirring like something, I'll pop over to that. So you're saying now they have an edition you can buy where it'll give me a tally
Yeah.
light.
You have to use the software Companion. So
Okay.
Companion's a free open source software. And then if you run everything for there, then the tally works for Companion now.
Okay.
I like
All
my
right.
Elgato Stream Deck too, so that'd be kind of fun. It's pretty
They're awesome.
remarkable that even every button will take on the whatever logo you put into it, including a photograph. It's pretty amazing, really.
And then with Companion, you can actually turn on your projectors, you turn off your lights. There's a whole list of stuff that Companion will run.
Mm.
It's
What is the website for that?
Can somebody tell Lewis where's the link to join this, Mr. Camera Junkie? It's in the description, Lewis. Start from the top and start looking down until you see two identical links that have the word Ecamm in it. It's two identical links because the one a little further down is for you to buy Ecamm, which of course you don't need to do. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
let's see this work.
And
Are we
Companion
doing-
is no cost freeware.
Somebody's having a connection problem. Who is it? Hal, say hi.
Yeah. I don't know who that is. What is that?
I don't know. Do you hear it there, Carlos?
I heard it. I heard it a second ago. Yeah.
Carlos, count. I mean, not Carlos. Hal, count to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
There we go.
Okay. There's a problem with the
Mhm.
audio. I would say it's me if all of you were doing it.
Yeah.
Scotty, say hi to me. Hi, Peter.
Hello, how are you?
Okay,
Yeah.
so just reboot, not reboot, reconnect and see if that fixes it. It's the audio is in an echo loop, and it's not feedback. It's something else.
Is it better now?
Yes, now it's perfect.
Okay. Yeah, I just messed with my sound settings.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I thought maybe you had a Phillips head screwdriver handy and something you were fine tuning it. So Carlos, I haven't had you on in a couple of weeks. You've been a busy boy over there. What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I really wish I could have gone to the show. You know, I wish I could have taken some time off. Did any of you guys go to the show? I mean, you're not there now, but I didn't know if you guys went for just the weekend or something like that or anything.
I
But
just got off stage from a show. I don't know if that counts.
I'm just hearing, like, I'm seeing a lot of people in our circles posting stuff. I love seeing that, right? People posting their experiences at the show, you know, things that are coming up, and just really cool
Everything
stuff.
positive?
Yeah, I mean, just
I haven't seen anything.
you know, yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I've seen Doc posting stuff, Doc Rock posting stuff, you know, because he's kind of, I run in the same circles as him. Just a lot of new stuff, obviously, you know, that's going on over there, and that's why I love to go. I love to go and see, you know, and I've gone to a few shows. But I just couldn't this year. There is a lot of stuff going on.
You're talking about the
There's still-
NAB,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that
I mean-
was that in Vegas?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Actually, Mr.
But-
Camera Junkie went, and he just said that they wouldn't let him in because of Aiden.
Yeah, that is great. Did he? Wow, Lewis, you went and they wouldn't let you in. I didn't read that.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
because I know that he
Oh,
went
he didn't
because
get in.
no, he didn't get in, and Aiden was, and he can't separate from Aiden. There's no way in hell.
Of course.
Okay,
Oh my
there's-
gosh. Well, that would have been good for them to make him aware of that beforehand. But all is well here, you guys. You know, I've just been really busy with my full-time job. So, but I'm always excited to have a moment to come and see us. See Peter. There's the
Speak of the
man.
Mister, there he is.
There he is. So
Can you
what
guys hear me?
happened? Yeah, we hear you perfectly. What
Yeah,
happened,
tell us
man?
what happened because
Well,
it got
just to
my ire up.
clarify, I did
What?
not go. That's the whole
Oh, you
thing. I
didn't.
was
Okay,
made aware
Oh,
ahead
okay.
of time.
that's
And
what I
I
thought.
didn't
That's
even
what I
make
thought.
the trip because Aiden wasn't going to be allowed on the show floor.
Okay.
You're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars of like experimental and like research and development type of
Yeah.
technology that's on the floor, and that's just some place that children are not allowed for the entire thing.
Mhm.
And even a friend, Brandon Washington, he wanted to take his kids that are like even a bit older, and still just not allowed. It's just something that's not available. So with that bit of knowledge, I'm ready for next year that I'll
Yeah.
actually have to bring somebody else to kind of just hang out with Aiden while we're there, so that I can then partake in that event.
Okay. I had thought you had went. Sly had implied that you were in Las Vegas,
I
and
wish.
I thought maybe they singled Aiden out for something. That's what got me a little perturbed.
Mm.
Okay, so it's all children are not allowed to go because
Yeah,
of the
it's just
sensitivity of the equipment.
mhm.
Okay. So, but there would even if it was a handicap situation, they wouldn't make a ruling on that.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with that aspect. It has to do with children. Children in general are
Okay.
not allowed. So if you're not like an adult that you can go like without parental vision, you're not allowed on the show. So that's
Okay.
just it. Like,
All right. That's a little bit better, but and
but I
here I
wanted to
thought you made the
clarify.
trip. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you came and clarified. So, what did you hear
Mhm.
about the NAB that we might want to hear? Anything
Yeah.
interesting?
Anything,
Oh
Luis?
yeah, I definitely got some tidbits. For those of us who actually use Opus clips, are
Yeah.
you guys familiar with this? Opus
Yep.
was
Yep.
there
Yep.
and they were representing and speaking of a new feature that's going to be rolling out soon, which I'm really excited about, called Opus Search. And the
Okay.
Opus Search allows you to actually not just upload your videos, but connect your YouTube channel. And once you connect your YouTube channel, you'd have the ability to use Opus to search your entire library on your channel. And it's going to be like using AI features to kind of scrub the internet, Reddit and
Mm.
trending topics to see what
Mm.
you might have talked about previously that can correlate with a trending topic, so that then you could actually clip
Mm.
something from there and then post that because it's most relevant.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's very
That
cool.
is.
Yeah.
Did
I mean, I
you like
figured.
Especially
the Did you like the
Go ahead.
the Blazar Beetle lens?
that was the next thing I was going to talk
Yeah,
about,
yeah,
because
that
that
looks
is,
really amazing.
as soon as I saw the Beetle lens, the first thing that I said was like the size, right? Like
Hmm.
to get an anamorphic lens in such a compact like package was amazing. Now it's a fixed focal length, not
Yes.
focal length, but fixed aperture of
Yeah.
3.2, which is actually not the worst, because
Yeah.
I tend to stop down a lot of my shots, even with my faster lenses, to like f4. So that wouldn't be an issue.
But
So
it
if
is
you're
a
dealing with,
T. It's a T
exactly,
lens.
that's what I was going to
So
say,
it's
which
actually a
should be a
little
bit brighter.
brighter. Yeah.
And the other thing is that it's a anamorphic lens, so that's
Mhm.
what's like amazing. So you're getting this compact system, and we're really seeing the benefits of mirrorless cameras with this lens, because we've always been talking about being able to reduce the flange distance and make things compact, and this is something that is coming out. And the best part, I think, was the price
Yeah.
that they were saying it's going to be running around $499, $500,
Oh,
and they're going to be coming out with 3 different lenses: a 32 millimeter, a 45, and a 65. So I'm
But
already in line to get the set.
it's really important for people to do vertical video. So
Yeah,
you
right.
do an anamorphic lens and turn sideways, everything looks really weird. So this company fixed it. So we actually turn the lens on the mount and it becomes vertical video. So it's going to be really
All right,
good.
bring us all up to speed. What's the name of the company? I haven't heard of this lens, so
Blazar.
educate
Blazar
me.
cinema lenses, which are
Okay.
very popular. They have a good rapport and very well known for high quality glass, especially in the cinema side. And in that aspect, you have them building this mirrorless type of lenses, and like he said, you have the ability, like through a switch, to actually change the ovalness, so to speak, or how you would say the flares that you would get on the lights behind you to be correct, whether you're shooting horizontally or vertically. So
Yeah.
if you were to be a vertical content creator and you want to get anamorphic, you'll still be able to get the squeeze even though you're shooting vertically, which is just another amazing feature.
So it's a cinema
It's
lens.
really
So who wants to
it's
handle
really cool that
taking
you're able to
over?
rotate that.
Who wants to handle explaining what T means? T for Thomas. Who wants to handle that? You all know. Everybody got
Yeah,
shy.
but I've been talking for like the last 3 minutes.
All right, be quiet for a minute. No, it's okay. So I guess I'll do it. All right. When you have an f-stop, you have f1.8, 2.8, 3.5, etc., etc. All right. When you go to a cinema lens, they don't use that. They use completely something different. It's designed just to mess you up. All right. So instead of an f-stop, you have a t-stop. And the difference between the f-stop and the t-stop is the f-stop is the size of the hole, okay? And the t-stop is the amount of light that comes through. So it will measure a light so that every lens that's a T1.8, T1.7, or whatever the T is, has exactly that same amount of light coming through. They use that entire system in the cinema type lenses. On the rest of us, they give us the size of the hole. So if it's a 5.6, if it's a 3.5, you ever see how it gets bigger and smaller, as you turn the dial? And so that is what he meant when he said it's a T. What did you say it was? A T 3.2, Lewis?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a T 3.2. So whatever the proper amount of light, and there's that's the brand right there, Blazar. Thank you, Scotty. So who didn't know what a T-stop was? It took me the longest time to find out what it was until I got so frustrated one day. I just looked it up on Google, and Google told me. I mean, Google knows everything.
Knows everything.
So-
Isn't there? What do you guys know if is there a formula difference between the T-stop and f-stop? Is there a formula difference?
Well, some people say an f-stop is different for each manufacturer. So, like, I have had some old Nikon lenses where they're 2.8, and then I have my iris and ISO and everything set up to shoot video. Switch the lens to another 2.8, but it looked brighter.
Yeah.
With T-stops, supposedly it's a science measured, and every single manufacturer has to use that same test. So if I take a T3 on one brand and put another T3 on another brand, it's supposed to be the same brightness. So they're supposed to be more even, because with film, it came back from film cameras where you can't see the picture until like a day later. So that's why everything had to be very precise.
True.
So it's a
just
measure.
more accurate. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
a more
Right,
accurate way of measuring the light, because, like he said, when you're dealing with film, the exposure has to be correct. So changing focal lengths has to match so that they don't have to change any of the other settings in the camera.
Hmm.
It looks like they're calling it transmission stops. So if you've got a Ford with a manual transmission and you try to race a Corvette,
You have a T-stop.
you have a T-stop. We don't use that in stills. So
No, you're right. I didn't think of that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the main difference there too, right? I mean, you don't have it in stills, right? It's like you just see that in video lenses or
Yeah.
cinema lenses, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's
really
trying-
good. I mean, that's really cool. I mean, the thing I love about that is I've seen, you see a lot of tricks for going vertical efficiently, quickly, but this is totally different. I mean, this is awesome because you're able to do that with a lens, right? I mean, that's pretty awesome for people who I think are going to really benefit from that, or people who do verticals.
Yeah,
That's
Randy's
cool.
chiming in here.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying that f-stops and t-stops measure the amount of light passing through a lens.
Yeah.
F-stops are theoretical, based on aperture size, while t-stops are more accurate measurement of the light that's coming through.
Where's Randy? Randy, get your ass in here.
Yeah.
Where are you, man?
Well, he was on last week, or was it the week
He was?
before?
Okay.
Yes. So Jim Monday is here, and
Jim.
Hey, Jim.
I talked to him this week. He's doing fine. He started a new company, so he has he's left the
Congrats.
job where he was. So no paycheck coming in right now. So, but he's in consulting for security. If so, let's say you have a company, some tire company, Mr. Camera Junkies Tire Company, and they do ransomware on you or something, he actually will, get in there and help you. So, and here we have, he left. He came and left. Jeff tried to join us from, oh my God, Randy. What the hell? It's his birthday today.
Oh my gosh. Happy birthday, Randy.
Happy
Okay.
birthday,
Happy birthday,
Randy.
Randy.
You think
Well, I
we
mean,
can
you're
all
gonna have
sing
to-
happy
you're gonna
birthday,
have
or is this
there
going to
you
become
go.
a disaster? All right, on the count of 3, happy
That
birthday
would be
song.
a disaster.
Well, let's try it. This is going to be fun. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday
birthday
to
to
you. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear
dear Randy.
Come on, Luis.
Happy birthday to you.
Row, row, row your boat gently down.
The stream.
Yep.
Row. Okay. You were right, Louis. That was excellent. Boy, you nailed it.
Yeah.
When you go to Las
I
Vegas.
did my best.
Yeah. You should have. You
Exactly.
need to
You knew
put
it.
some money down on the tables. I
I'm one
couldn't
of
figure
those-
out why it wouldn't work. Seriously, we all got earplugs in,
Well, that's the whole thing with me. I can't do it, and I tried my best because I'm one of the rare people who don't even monitor their own audio. Because once I hear like the delay in the audio and everything, it just throws me off, and I
Oh,
literally like almost like can't speak. It's just the words won't come out because my mind is translating all that information. So I did my
Yeah.
best.
I think
Yeah.
the only problem we had was we were singing in the wrong key.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was it.
more than
You're right.
that.
You're right.
That had to be it. Yeah.
I was singing using my backdoor key. That was the closest key that I had.
Okay.
The
Okay.
front door key didn't work. All right, so to throw you all off, okay, I have a question. Now you got to turn your brain on, okay? What is half of 2 plus 2?
Oh, you're gonna do these. What? Where is this? Why are you doing this? What's the point, Peter?
I wanted to
doing?
annoy you.
Oh my
good.
gosh. What is he doing?
Well, let me wait. Let's do it this way, since I seem to have hit the right button here. Carlos, what is half of 2 plus 2? I'll give you guys and everybody else that's watching a hint. These all play on words, okay? You got to
Okay,
really listen to the words that are being said, which is kind of giving it away because you're supposed to catch somebody cold.
I was never good
Okay.
at these. I was never quick enough or have a high IQ enough to get these kinds of word words on.
All right.
you know, play on words.
How about something, Carlos? I'm still aiming this at you. Okay.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I have to. I just can't help it.
I refuse.
All right. Here we go. All right. Put catchers on. Okay. Forwards, I am heavy. Backwards, I am not. What am I?
The Riddler. This is the Riddler.
This is
You're
so
doing the
easy because
Riddler
the
on
answer is in what I just said. Forward, I am heavy. Backwards, I am not. What am I? Forwards, I am heavy. Backwards, I am not. What am I?
Yeah,
All right, so you're all stumped. All right, take the word.
If you're just asking me, then can I make my phone call?
No.
Take the word. Phone a friend.
Take you.
I need to call a friend. You need to let
Who
me
are you going to call? I want to know who you're going to call.
Hal.
Oh.
Hal. I'm calling you, Hal.
I don't know either.
Hal is just as dumb.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
A seesaw?
All right, listen, I'll say it again, and then I'll give you the hint that's actually the answer, too. All right, forwards, I am heavy. Backwards, I am not. Take the word not and reverse the spelling.
Ton.
Forwards, I am heavy. Backwards, I am not.
Tunk.
Ton. You've never been assaulted with the question which is heavier, a pound of rocks or a pound of cotton?
Randy got it right away. So Randy.
Did Randy get it? I'm not even looking over there.
Yeah, he got it right away. I should have went to Randy.
Yeah, but Randy can look it up. You can't.
Oh yeah, but he's a machine when it comes to this kind of stuff. Okay.
But he's very smart. Yes, he's very smart.
He is. He's a very smart guy.
Let's see. Carlos, I have a question for you.
Oh my gosh. I want to talk about the show.
Yeah, this is so much more watching you sweat. It just makes up my whole day.
Okay.
What can you add to a full bucket of water to make it lighter? You got it, Scott? Oh my God!
What is it, Scott? What do you got, Scott?
No. You have to You got to phone him.
Okay, I'm phoning into Scott. What do you got?
A hole.
Yay! He got it.
Oh,
what can you add to a bucket full of water to make it lighter?
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, jeez.
Now you want to know what? What did you say?
I was just gonna say. I mean, some
a hole?
Are really good at this stuff.
Were you gonna say a hole? My dad used to do this to me because I used to get letters from the teacher that I'm not paying attention, I'm not applying myself, So when I was too old for the belt anymore, okay, he would sit me down and he would go, how far can a bear run into a forest? And I'd be sitting there with my eyes wide open and going like, damn, I don't know this, but I don't want to get hit, So you can only run into a forest halfway, then you're running out. But he would do that to me, so I've learned to pay attention. All right, now here's one. Who's the smartest one here? It's got to be Scotty because he got the one. Okay, so this is unless you read this before. Okay, there are two ducks in front of a duck, two ducks behind a duck, and a duck in the middle. How many ducks are there? There are 2 ducks in front of a duck. Turn your picture machine on in your brain, okay?
Yeah, you have.
There are 2. I didn't get this, by the way, all right? There are 2 ducks in front of a duck, 2 ducks behind a duck, and a duck in the middle. And by the way, these are all 15 years old, okay? They're not like the newest thing on the block. All right, so Lewis is guessing, Mr. Camera Junkie is guessing 5.
Let's say 3.
Ah, you got it. How did you do that?
Makes sense.
It does?
Yeah, I'm saying 3 because I think the 2 that you mentioned sounded like they were 2, but they're not 2 different ducks. They were the same ducks, weren't they?
No, it's the position. If there's 3
the
ducks,
position.
if the
Yeah.
first one's got 2 behind it, the last
Yeah.
one's got 2 in front of it, and the middle one's
the-
in the middle. Okay?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Jim Mundy got it too. So
Yeah.
good for you, Jim.
I don't know how it sounded to me like what was happening there was there was a canceling out is what I kind of got from that. Like there wasn't 2 in the front and 2 in the back as in 4. That's what I was getting. So
You're overthinking it.
are you done torturing us with
Yeah,
that?
I have one more, but we'll wait till later because you guys are all like looking at me like deer in headlights. So
Yeah.
maybe I thought this was going to go over well, but apparently it went over half of 2 + 2.
These are really good when I have when I'm having people introduce themselves in groups. This is the way to get everybody a little comfortable is to ask these kinds of questions, right? So, but yeah, I don't know. I think we're different though. I think we're different.
Yeah, well, we're
think
too
we're
smart for these. These are too low
That's right.
level. We think in terms of quick. What's the f-stop? What shutter speed do I use? And is the background going to be in focus or out of focus? That kind of stuff. What's this half of 2 + 2? What is this? This is not American. I don't know what you're talking about. That's my
It's
dad
Mr.
or my grandmother.
Camera Junkie, not Mr. Math Junkie.
That's right.
Mr. Camera Junkie. Mr. What did you say the other one was, Louis?
I said it's Mr. Camera Junkie, not Mr. Math Junkie.
Mr. Math Junkie.
That's right.
So, can we do any talking about cameras?
I would buy them soon.
How is the Lumix S52? How is that holding up?
The Lumix S5 Mark II.
Yeah, is it
That
still,
would be if somebody came to me and they didn't have nothing honey, like the cereal. Okay, no cameras, no lenses. That would be my number one choice, unless they were really, really nothing between the ears. Okay, in that case, that's what. No offense to anybody, that's what Canon is here for. Okay, it does all your thinking for you. And I got Scotty. And I was just thinking, who here has a Canon? And I didn't even think of you, Scotty. And then I got the face. And then I go like, oh damn, I nailed Scotty. Now it would be the camera that would be from the simplest to where you could shoot this anamorphic lens that you guys were talking about. You could shoot, all levels of photography and all levels of video. It's got a fan built into it, so you erase the overheating problem. Now, people that already have something, obviously, Louis has a show, and the rest of you guys are all involved. The first answer is you tell them what you own. That's where you start looking, okay? Because that is the correct way to bring a person into what camera do I buy? Because that's what they all do to you, and they do the same thing to me.
Well, those L lenses, they have a lot of variety of brands to choose from, so that's kind of a plus.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What did you just say?
Because is it an L camera?
L lens is a type of lens from Canon. L lenses.
No, not the luxury, but the L series.
Lens mount.
Okay.
The lens.
Oh, the lens mount. Okay.
Yeah,
so
all the new Blackmagics are having that now.
They are.
Which mount? The RF or the EF?
The L.
L mount.
Oh, the L mount is a Panasonic mount, not even Canon.
Oh, it's a Leica? Hybrid, right? It's a collaboration between Leica, Panasonic. There's a couple more, I believe. I think it's Blackmagic.
One more major. No. Sigma.
Sigma, yeah.
Sigma.
Okay.
So actually, Sigma makes a lot of the Panasonic lenses, and they make some of the Leica lenses. And the way you could tell is the Sigma Leica lenses are like $2,000-$3,000, and the Leica lenses are like $5,000 to $10,000. Okay, so that's how you can tell. But they're all part. They all part of the same consortium. Now Blackmagic has joined, but they're not on the inner circle like in the biblical days. Peter, James, and John were the inner circle, and then you got Matthew and the rest of the disciples on the outer circle. Okay, so the inner circle is Panasonic, Sigma, and Leica. So what this tells us is when Leica comes out with a new camera and it's 40 megapixels, where's Randy? Okay, Panasonic is going to come out with one almost identical after whatever contract they made between themselves. So they would have given Leica the lead for maybe 6 months or a year before Panasonic will come out. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Panasonic came out with a 40-something megapixel lens, and almost a year later, we have the S1R Mark II. And it's a similar high megapixel sensor. It's the same sensor, and they just fiddle-faddle between them, you know.
Where would you put the Lumix, like the S52, for example, in the, how does that stack up color science-wise with, because Nikon and Sony have to be top of that list.
Ironically speaking, you've got 5 camera guys here, so you're going to get 5 different answers, okay?
Yeah.
But my answer would be Lumix is right at the top. The problem is they missed the boat, and they don't have any oomph behind them. You don't see them at Costco. You don't see them hardly anywhere.
Their distribution, you mean?
Yeah, they came in with their new focus system so late that people wrote them off. I mean, it was like, oh yeah, the Micro Four Thirds is really good. I want to look at it. I want to see what it's about. Oh, but the focus system sucks. Okay, then they came out with a new camera, and the focus system sucks. Then they came out with their brand new camera, and their focus system sucks. And now they just came out with one where they actually added their new focus system. But people have left the party. They went over to Carlos's party, or Hal's party, or Lewis's party, you know, and it's just, you know, they don't have any momentum behind them. But as far as a good camera, it's one of the better cameras. When I hold it, I can tell it's a top-end camera, and the pictures and the video that I get out of it are excellent.
Is the menu intuitive?
Yes, the menu is as intuitive as a Canon menu, but it's maybe, I was going to say twice the size, maybe almost twice the size, because they've added everything but the kitchen sink in there. Okay, so the better deal or the better camera to get if you want that much activity is to go to a Sony. Okay, because Sony has everything but the kitchen sink in that camera. All right, and of course they fail here and there. And what I like about Sony is actually detrimental to Sony. Okay, and that is that they add the gyro data, and I sound like I'm a salesman for gyro data because I bring it up all the time. And what it does is it gives you, you know, how the political thing is today. People are saying we want the choice. We want choices. Okay, well, Sony lets you have the choice. You're going to use the stabilization that's in the camera. Yes, they all have stabilization. Okay, or you're going to use the gyro data, and only on the Sony camera do you have that option. That's not true completely. Okay. We got one more guy coming in. Jeff, you're still trying to get in, but Jim has just joined. Okay. So
is Sly in the house tonight?
No, she's not here. I don't know if she still got the baby or if he got picked up. But
Jim
just,
hey man,
Jim just came on. Say hi, Jim, so we can hear you.
Can y'all hear me? I'm not sure what's going on with my.
We hear you.
Sounds good.
Oh, good.
We hear you
Okay.
great.
Happy
Good.
St.
Jim.
Patrick's Day.
Well, that I had that for St. Patrick's Day. Normally I've got the blue one, which is the company color, but
I
had
like that color right there. I like
It's
that.
pretty nice, huh?
It's a vivid green. I like that.
Definitely a vivid green.
You want to talk, Mr. Vivid Orange. So
I know, huh? I know, that's why. Right.
you guys got the same covers on your things.
I think, I don't know. Is that a dock pop? Is that what that is? Or no?
Yeah. Yep. I've got
Yeah, so
green, blue.
I got to upgrade. I got to upgrade to the dock pops. I got to do that. I got to get my orders in, but according to Doc, I don't think I'll get it for like a year, right, Luis, or
Yeah,
something like that.
I ordered the green one at the beginning of the month, and it came in like probably a week and a half. It wasn't too bad.
Oh, cool. Okay, I got to go for it. I got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we got an Aussie in the house.
Yeah. You got somebody from down under. Are you awake, Jeff? Did you fall asleep?
Well, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
I just got
Yeah.
you.
Hey.
I just got you put
It's-
on. Okay.
It's 1 in the afternoon for him.
Is it really? Wow.
1 in the afternoon. 1:07 in the afternoon. Is that right, Jeff?
So, yeah, 107. Sorry.
Jeff was on last week. Was it last
107.
week or the week before, Jeff?
Last week.
Boy, did he have a time. Yeah. He
I
was
still
fighting
am. I'm
with.
playing a,
Did you buy a lens?
no, I'm still looking at a couple of different options.
Okay. So the answer is no. You didn't buy one yet.
No, not yet. I have my
Okay.
eye on a couple, but yeah.
I'd like to find out if Jeff went to high school with Nicole Kidman or Olivia Newton-John.
Ah,
one
wish.
was?
Oh my gosh.
Neither.
Are
I
you
give
there?
a break, I'm not that old.
Are you neighbors with those two girls?
Oh, you wish.
Aren't those two girls dead? No, actually, one of them is. I didn't
I think Nicole is
I'll
still
be-
hanging on.
Yeah, Nicole's good. Yeah.
I've been seeing
Mr.
some levels.
Mr. Camera Junkie, how many people can I put up here? Do you know?
Which computer are you running right now?
It's a Mac Studio 32, I call it. It's got 32 megabytes. It's a Studio M2.
Well, it has to
And-
do mostly
and
with
Luis,
cores, so you should be able to do like 8.
So technically,
Max
I can
10?
bring in. I can go up to 10. Wow.
Possibly,
try-
yes,
What,
but
Luis, Doc the other day, he had like what, 12 of us? Wasn't it like a few weeks ago or something like that? He had like 10.
but like I said,
10
it
of us?
depends on the machine, because if you have
Okay.
the cores to
Okay.
handle them, because basically each one of us will actually kind of like consume a core, and it's handling our own feed. So once the M1 chips have maxed their cores, and because they use the system on a chip where it's sharing the memory for both the processes of the computer and the video feeds or the graphics processing, that's where the limitation
That's good
lies.
to
So
know.
it has to do with the cores.
So
Okay.
I got the M2. Does that give me any advantage, or it's about the same thing?
I would say you probably have 10, but you can just like go to your little Apple and hit about this Mac so that you can see exactly which machine you have. And in the more infos, you should be able to find out which system you have, the details.
And as far as carrying our information, I mean, that's not an issue because he's got 1,000 up, 1,000 down.
Yeah.
Right. So that's not going to be an issue.
Yeah, it shouldn't be
Right.
the bandwidth at all. And at
Yeah.
max, you probably be running like 60 megabits up and down,
Mhm.
right? Say about like
Okay.
10 to 15 per each feed.
Mhm.
And that really depends on how we're coming in. And we're all using interview mode, right? Right, Peter?
Yes,
We're not
we're-
using Zoom.
Enter move.
So we're
Enter-
maxing at 720 as far as a feed coming in. And that's exactly, so it's like I said, mostly to do with the cores, and it wouldn't have to do anything with the actual memory. He should have plenty.
Okay.
Luis, what's happening when people
Right.
are bringing everybody in through Zoom? What's going on there? What's the difference?
Well, Zoom is its own company, and
Yeah.
their big thing is handling the audio and video codec. So basically, you're taking that aspect and taking that weight off of Ecamm when we're using Zoom. And with that added feature, we're able to boost the quality. So if you're on one of the pro plans, you would actually have 1080 quality coming into your Zoom guests, and you'll be able to then record those files isolated, and it makes the whole like interview process or like the sharing like this a lot smoother with a higher quality video and audio feed.
Really? So that's kind of preferable then, right? If you're going to do
Yeah.
interviews, maybe.
Well,
Okay.
I produce the Flow podcast every
Okay.
Tuesday at noon,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
totally switched from interview mode, which is what I'd been using for a while, because
Ah,
I didn't get into Zoom side because the interview mode on Ecamm was so well that I didn't have a need. So when people
okay.
wanted to do like a interview style or a Zoom style interview, I would always just send them my Ecamm link. And it wasn't only until the integration that came together that I was like, okay, I see why they integrated, because it's almost like they're specializing in the aspect of giving you the highest quality audio and video through
Okay.
these connections. So now we're leveraging that aspect with Ecamm and letting them handle the video and audio codec. And then we're just able to implement it within the program of Ecamm, which also is like kind of two birds with one stone, because now instead of having both programs open, you just need to open up Ecamm with the full power of Zoom inside.
That's awesome. Man, that's awesome. Wow.
So
Powerful.
I'm kind of curious. I'm running the Mac Studio Max M2. I'd like to hear what you guys are running. So I'll name it off so everybody doesn't answer at once. Jim, what computer running?
I've got a MacBook Pro M3 16, no, 12 core.
Oh, you're up to the M3. You're hot stuff.
Yeah, but well, I bought it because
Is that
what you're gonna? Are you
I knew
gonna?
the company was coming, so it made sense to upgrade what I was using before.
The only one I know that's higher than that is Randy. He's got the M4. So you've got the M3. And what camera are you using? The camera on the MacBook?
No, that's my ZV-E10.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm using too. I'm on the ZV-E10 right now.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
on the ZV-E10? Cool.
Yep,
It's
I'm
on
just
the
using
on
my.
the tripod and never
Yeah.
moves.
Yeah,
Mr.
it's.
Camera Junkie, Luis, what are you running?
We just lost Jim.
We just lost.
It's
Jim.
still connected.
I'm right
So
here. You can still hear me?
Yeah, I
Yes,
can hear you.
we just lost your video feed.
yeah.
Me, I'm actually
What I
running
did.
a Mac Studio M1 Max. So it was like the entry level of the first M1 Mac Studios. I did max it out with the 64 gigabytes of RAM, which was the max that was allotted, because I knew that I was using it for editing and all of my production. So I never wanted it to be limiting there. I got 1 terabyte internal hard drive, which allowed me to get the maximum speeds, but I knew that I was mostly going to be using external media. So I have a variety of different hard drives, which I plug in for the different things that I need. And I have a 4 terabyte SSD connected to it to the bottom, which is kind of like its main memory, which I use and edit directly from. My camera is actually an older one. It's my photography camera. It's my A7R2, and I have it connected with a dummy battery. I have it set into movie mode. I have it shooting log, which is one of the features that I love about it. So I just added a LUT to it to get my colors right. And
Yep.
with a manual lens, it just sits here, and a dummy battery, it just forever lives on my system, because it's like my least camera used, like out in the field. So it's the one that I've dedicated for my feed. And then audio, I am using right now today the Rode Pod mic connected to the
Cool.
Rodecaster Duo and coming in through Ecamm. And I use Crisp to clean up my audio so you don't hear my co-pilot Aiden making his
Oh yeah.
noise with his toys.
We love Aiden. I didn't know you were using the Roadcaster. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I love it. And for me, it's like I have a very intricate system. So to try to break it down as fast as possible, that's my main setup. But right next to it, I have a Mac Mini that also connected to the same audio source. So my Roadcaster is connected to two separate
Wow.
computers, which I have connected together, so that then whenever I do any productions, if I need to bring in music, a secondary audio, like anything, even including a completely separate guest, I have complete control over that computer over here, which it's kind of like linked to this same system, so that the audio is running together, and I can push that, as an upload through either my Mac Studio or my Mac Mini. So it's completely like integrated, and it's very interesting, but I love my setup. I have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, if you tune into his show on Saturday nights, he'll go over what he just said again. I mean, he loves talking about how tricked out his setup is, man, because it's tricked out. It's pretty cool. It's very
It
cool.
is. It's one of the top
kind of
ones.
mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling, actually.
Scotty,
you.
did you upgrade
Oh.
your Commodore yet? Did you upgrade that Commodore?
No, I've got a system that you guys really couldn't compete with. It is
That's not right.
the camera is a Kodak Brownie loaded with Tri-X film, 120 Tri-X, and I'm on a delay because I have to process it in D76. And then my
Unbelievable. Wow.
the brains of the system is a Smith Corona manual typewriter that has a particularly long ribbon. No, but all
Dang,
kidding
I'm
Is
not
aside,
it a
messing
cartridge?
with you, man.
Cartridge ribbon, or
Not
you have
messing
to
with
pull? It's got to
No.
rewind it.
yeah. Look at my hands; they're all.
That's funny, but I'm a very big fan of Murder, She Wrote, the show, and they caught the murderer because the thing that they typed on was a cartridge ribbon, which could be unrolled, and you could read everything that was typed instead of going back and forth with the rolls, and that's
I'm
how
pretty
she
sure
solved the
that's.
murder.
I'm pretty sure that's why. That's how Nixon got impeached.
With the ribbon,
same,
with the
same method. No, but seriously, this is an iPad 10th edition. That's it.
Well, that's very unique because you got a great picture and great sound. You're running off an iPad when right next to you, Lewis is running off a $40,000 computer powerhouse system that can run a whole nation. Okay.
Well, in all fairness, I am the proud owner of a Randall Tower, but I just got in right before we went on live, from a show we did, so I had no time to hook up the big rig.
Yeah, you look terrific. If that's all you need, that's all you need.
Thank you,
Carlos.
I am gonna before we go on, I'm gonna hit the sack, and I will continue to watch. And I love you all, and have a good night.
Thanks for making
Have a
it
great
more
night.
interesting than me just sitting here by myself. So I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, guys.
That's right.
We'll see ya.
Good night, Scotty.
Have a good one.
Yes, Scotty. Yep.
Carlos, what you running
That's
over
great.
there?
Just a very simple. I'm just on my MacBook Pro, just running. It's an M1, and so everything I have is still M1. You guys, even the Mac Mini, man, everything I'm running, I just don't have a lot running off of it. I'm using my Rode X right now with this to plug in my SM7B, so it has enough juice to power it up. I don't need a cloud lifter. Just really simple, you guys. It's easy for me. The less for me, it's like the less things I have plugged in, the better, because I'm not. I get confused. I just need it simple, So it all runs for me, man. And I am I'm using the S Log, So
You are?
And using S Log, and I've got a.
Are you letting it? Oh, you do have a LUT.
Letting
okay.
it. I'm letting it.
You're letting it. You found the button that says "Turn on my LUT."
Yep, that's right. Letting it. So different though, because this is what I use for my clients, which is insane and over the top. It's stupid. It's really stupid. I work with my therapy clients with this. Okay, but it really helped me during the pandemic, you guys. It's like the first thing I thought of was, hey, wait, let me get out my camera and see if this will work. And it did, and I found Ecamm, and then all of it was history. But it was so many therapists, so many clinicians that I know who didn't get on board. They lost a lot of clients.
That's a big mistake.
Because they used their MacBook Pro, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one day I got on a call with one of my colleagues. I could barely see his face, and all I could see was up his nostrils. That's all I could see.
Yeah.
And I could barely hear him. And I'm like, do you meet your clients like this? Is that how you're meeting with your clients? And he said, well, yeah. I'm like, yeah, forget it, man. I mean, that's not an experience I would want to sit through. That would not be a good therapy session. So this is what I use for them. But at work, it's funny because in my office, I use that one to make all my YouTube videos.
You're at home right now, right?
Yeah, I'm at home.
Yeah.
So all my virtual clients I meet with here. All my virtual clients. But when I go to the office, that's where I have like my studio there, right? That's where I have the studio with the.
Yeah, your studio is beautiful. It's one of the nicest. The backgrounds, I should say, is so a brick wall that's authentic, and got a lot of age to it too, from what I understand.
Yeah, it's a beautiful building. I'm going to start taking some really cool, I think some monochrome shots too of some of the building and the buildings around the area, because all of them were, I mean, you guys on the East Coast, you kind of make fun of us over here on the West Coast a lot, because we have, our buildings are, my building's like 150 years old. And, we're just like, wow, that's amazing, but a lot of guys I tell that to, even clients that I have on the East Coast are kind of like, yeah, it's nothing really. I don't, what, it's like, you think that's an antique? Really? It's like, I live in a house that's like 300 years old, man. Yeah. So, but it's really cool because you can see how some of these buildings that were here, since like 1881 or something like that, a lot of them are still standing. We have earthquakes here, you guys, right? That's what we have. We have earthquakes here. And It's amazing to see a building like this still standing, mainly because of the earthquake. So, but it's cool, man. I love it. I really love it.
Did you solve your water problem?
I don't know. I have no idea. I guess we won't know unless
you turn on your fire hydrant, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. They're upgrading our hydrants right now, but we're not as close to the fire zone. But you guys, every week, man, I meet with clients who are still grieving, who've lost their homes. They're just, because my office is about a mile down the street from Altadena. And so it's like, I've never seen anything like it, you guys. We have earthquakes, we have fires, okay? But I've never seen fires take out whole communities like this. They always take outlier buildings and stuff, and a lot of brush. Yes. Yeah. But this was like whole communities in rural Los Angeles. These are communities, man. And communities like Malibu. These are communities on the beach that burned up. It's crazy. My restaurants that were literally, there's a restaurant that my wife and I always went to called Moon Shadows. It's on the beach in Malibu. The patio is over, it's like extended over the water, so it's right on the water. Everything's gone.
That's amazing.
Gone. It's crazy that that day the wind beat the water that day, right? Because the water the water couldn't do anything for us here, in those areas. So anyway, hopefully it's better, Peter. We'll see, man. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on down here.
That sounds. Well, we'll keep definite track of you. So, Jeff, are you ready to talk, Jeff?
Yep. I'm running Windows 11. Sorry.
I was going to say, start with your computer.
Okay, I have the Windows 11. It's an Asus laptop. That's what I'm on at the moment.
So the Windows.
16 gigabytes of, it's a Windows system.
Okay. Wow.
I know that it's got 16 gigabytes of RAM, a terabyte of hard drive. What else? I don't really know much about computers. 16 gigabytes of RAM, terabyte hard drive, built-in graphics card, running my camera for the first time.
What camera
But
you
the
got
only thing
running
is
there?
the R6, but I think I left it in log. But see, look, it looks faded.
Yeah, it was in log. I could tell. Yeah, I was going to ask you if you were in log. You were, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to fix it
What
up right
I was,
now.
I don't know how to do it because I've got to go back in later. I had to go at it during the week. Um, that's the first time I played around with log, but I've got to set it back. So
I mean, the
Yeah,
I may have
log
had
because
look,
stuff.
I love the log look, man. It's just like right there, just even, I prefer it actually,
Yeah,
rather than what Peter's
but
doing. He's destroying you right now. He's absolutely destroying you right now.
yeah, I'm
yeah.
blowing you to bits.
That's right. That's
Oh,
right.
that's all right. Did me worse than what I did. I'm still trying to get my head around all of this, with the log files and LUTs and editing and all that. So
Fun.
um, it's a headache. But I'm enjoying it, but I find it hard to understand, like the understanding. You guys have so much wealth of knowledge when it comes to computers,
Well, some of
when
us
it
do.
comes
Some
to
of
video. Well, especially the video side of it. I'm okay on the camera side of it, like taking photos and all that stuff,
mm,
just not the video side. I'm absolutely thick as. Like, I've never dabbled in photography, so I'm sort of giving it a go, but yeah, I'm finding it hard at the moment.
Well, we had quite a session last week. I was yelling at you pretty strong, but you took it really well. I gotta hand it to you. And
I think
yeah,
no,
Peter's very proud of
I,
that
I,
you were
I
able to take that. Yeah.
but I don't really get offended. I listen and take on board what's being said.
oh, we lost
Yeah.
Hal, so everybody say bye
Yeah.
to
Where did
Hal.
Hal go? Where did Hal go? We lost Hal.
Oh,
He's
bye.
got an early
Yeah, no,
morning kick tomorrow.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't get offended, Peter, by what you say, because I know that it's like, I look at you because you've got so much knowledge and so much wealth
no,
of knowledge.
I know you didn't get offended. I'm teasing you now at the moment. That's all I'm doing.
Okay, that's all right. Cool. Yeah, no, I like I said, I've learnt a lot by coming on every week since I've started with you guys. Even though I haven't spoke a lot, I've listened a lot. I write down things. I go and research it, and that's sort of how I've been progressing in photography side of it, not the videography, the photography. Like I was telling you last week, Peter, that in 2018, I knew nothing except turn the camera on. Now I'm doing things like nightscape, landscape photography, long exposures.
Cool.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Cool.
I've got my head around the exposure triangle, the crop factor, the metering modes, white balance. I understand all of that. Still a long way to go, but I'm enjoying it. It's given me, I don't know if you heard last week, because of my disability, it's taken a lot of stuff away from me. So I found photography has given me an outlook in life. So instead of now me dwelling on what was taken from me, I look at, okay, I can't do this anymore. What can I do? I can do photography. And I find when I go out, I meet other people, people that are interested. And then I can talk to them and I help them along their journey. So we sort of learn together. And if I can I'll just a little bit more, Peter. The biggest thing was a guy that I met about 2 years ago, and he wanted to learn photography. He's from Pakistan. And I said, sure, come with me when I go into the city and I'll teach you what I know. But I said, I only can teach you what I know. But from that, he taught me, even though he didn't understand the fundamentals of photography, he had a good concept of, what's that word? Composition. And he was sharing with me, about composition and what would look good. So when he'd say to me, "Oh, Jeff, you're very good," I'd say, "No." I said, "Different, Mian." I said, "I've learnt a lot from you as much as you've learnt a lot from me. We learn a lot from each other." And that's like being on your show, Pete. You know, when I'm listening to you, watching you, all you guys, I take something away from it. So, yeah,
That's great.
that's
That's
me.
great.
You said that you watch Tony Northrup. You started by watching Tony Northrup, and
He
then
was the
you
one
added
okay, yeah.
more people after that.
Okay, so what happened? Yeah, let me just clarify that. Okay, so 2018, we bought our first DSLR. It was the 800D. And me being me, I like to play around with things. 3 days out going on a cruise, I messed up the whole entire camera system. It wouldn't focus, it wouldn't do anything. And I was panicking because I thought, oh shit, I just spent all this money. One of my sons, he's very good, he said to me, "Dad, just go on YouTube, just type up the camera." I typed up and Tony Northrop come on. And that sort of like that hour tutorial piqued my interest. And then straight after him, there was a guy called, I think, Matt from Real World. I think he uses basic cameras to show you that you don't need to spend thousands of dollars. And it sort of went from there. Then they talked about exposure triangle. And eventually it all, oh, I just loved it. I sort of fell in love. So Tony Northrop was the start of my journey, but not the, like there's lots of photographers I follow now. You guys are one of them. So I just gain knowledge from just following different people. If I'm interested in a subject, I'll type it up. You know, for example, videography, you know, you guys, who was it? Was it like the one down from Peter? What's your name? I forgot
Carlos,
your name again.
Carlos or
Carlos.
Luis?
Luis.
Was it when you're
Luis,
talking about,
because
was it you?
that's right.
Was it you that was talking about f-stop and t-stops?
Yeah,
It was
me
yeah.
and Hal that just left.
Yeah, and so I've never heard of that. So that's something I'm going to be researching later once I get off from here. So they're the things that I, for example, that I, even though I may not have said much, I listen to a lot that's being said. And if I haven't heard it or don't understand it, then I'll ask somebody, or I'll go on the internet later on and do a lot of research.
So
yeah,
Jeff,
that's sort of me.
yeah,
Cool.
I don't want the other guys to think I'm being rude, but talking to you directly, Jeff.
Yeah.
You can learn all you want about that, but don't go there. Okay, that is not for you at your level yet. 99.9% of the cinema lenses don't have the features that you've got available on your RF and your EF lenses with your adapter. So adding a cinema lens, you're good. As long as you don't buy anything, you go look all you want. There's no problem. I sound like an a-hole, but I've got to keep, keep Jeff on track,
Okay,
so that's fine.
Yeah, there's something I got a question about you guys about this, because I mean, there, as you know, there's so many different avenues, right? In what we do, there's so many. I mean, there's fine art photography, there's toy photography, there's miniature photography. There's so many different kinds of things that we can do. It's so it's like I'm, and I mean, has anybody here ever dabbled in any of those other kinds of photography? I mean, street photography.
Me.
You done some of that, Luis?
Oh, absolutely. Like the majority of my photography is for myself. So, when it comes to me learning anything, I fall head first and I just fall down the rabbit hole. So when it comes to photography, that's one of the aspects that I love, the fact that I'm always learning. But yeah, from macro photography and macro lenses, diopters and all that aspect to street photography, which is actually one of my favorites, because I used to do it a lot when I was doing phone repairs on mobile phone repairs, and I would drive to my clients. So I was always on the road, and that's, you start learning about, circular polarized filters, because what it does is that it blocks certain frequencies. So now it allows you to kind of like make your windshield and the glass inside of your vehicle basically invisible, so that way, like, whenever I was on the
That's
road and
good.
I saw
Okay.
something that I wanted to shoot, I could easily grab my camera, and when I would set to focus, it wouldn't focus on a dirt or a bug
Yeah.
that's on my windshield when I
Mm.
wanted to get the shot past it, right? And then that also allows me to do more of that street photography, while I was on the road ever at, whenever I would stop at a red light, I'm always looking around to see the same thing that, we were talking about before, about composition and how you
Right.
can, just take a shot. And a lot of them were, not good shots, but you
Mhm.
learn from every single one, and you say, like, why is this shot not good, right? From composition to exposure and everything like that, so that when you actually get in front of, like, clients or want to do it for put your best foot forward or your best effort, you have that experience of all the bad shots already taken care of, so that you can, do your best when you really need to.
Mhm.
Mm.
Is anybody ever shooting out there with manual lenses?
You need to have
No.
this
Curious.
conversation with the rest of the guys, because I do all that stuff.
You do, Luis,
What
do
did
you
I
use
put it
manual
in,
lenses
man?
primarily when you're out there? Do you do a lot of
No.
manual
No,
lenses?
well, it depends. Like, if I'm
Okay.
doing the, like, street photography in the
Yeah.
car, right? Like that's
Right.
spur of the moment, red lights, that's autofocus. And
Right.
usually what I do is center spot autofocus with
Okay.
like a
Yeah.
locking feature, so that I can
Yeah.
lock into what I want to be in focus, like half
Yeah.
press my shutter, and it locks
And move
it,
it.
so that then
Yeah.
I can,
Yeah.
reposition, what
Right.
is it?
Right.
Focus and recompose, right?
Yeah.
And it's locked in, and then snap the shot. So
Mm.
that's
Yeah.
autofocus. But then
Yeah. I do that a
if I'm
lot.
here at the
Mhm.
house and I'm shooting photos of Aiden, and I'm most likely grabbing my Fujifilm camera with a manual lens. I have this nice little Per Gear, an f1.6, which is just perfect
Oh,
tactile, and
wow.
is just all about the experience. So,
Yeah.
like, when it comes to photography and video, I'm a junkie for a reason, because I explore all the
Mm.
aspects of it.
Mhm. Mhm. Peter, did you ever
What about
shoot? I
you?
mean, you can't do manual, right, with the kind of stuff you did, right? You were probably always autofocus, right? You had to be,
Well, I
probably, with all
started
your weddings.
manual.
You did?
I'm
Yeah, I
that
Okay.
did.
old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Weddings in the 70s and the 80s. It was
Okay.
manual, and I really didn't trust autofocus when it first came out.
Ah.
Right.
Luis, I don't know how to get rid of that black box when Hal left. It's still up there.
Mm.
You should be able to look at your camera switcher, the one that runs along the side of your main screen.
The bottom of my main screen.
Yep,
Mhm.
right. And there should be a black box which represents that
Yeah.
has a negative symbol, so that you can just remove it because it's added to the show.
Well,
Mm.
that's why I didn't click that, because it's not a negative signal. It's a positive. It's a plus. The
Okay,
black
then what
box.
you can do, right?
Mhm.
What you can do is just kind of start all over again. You can just click yourself, make it full screen, and then just add all of us once again, one by one, so that you don't have
I'll
that
leave
block.
it. We're at the end of the show. No sense screwing it up.
I was gonna
But
be like, yeah, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that.
no,
I'm not Mr.
That's
Camera Junkie.
easy.
I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that.
Now, pertaining to the manual focus and the
Yeah.
autofocus, they do come
Mm.
in at different levels. Okay, so
Mhm.
you have, if you put a manual lens that has no electronics in it at all, the camera can't help you.
Mhm.
If you put on a lens that is autofocus or is even manual focus, and it's got some electronics, the camera can help you depending on which camera you're on. It can tell you go left, go right, or it can confirm when it's in focus with a green box around the face. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
But that's still all manual focus. And then you've got
Peter,
autofocus completely, where you push the button halfway down for pictures
Mhm.
and it focuses.
Mhm.
Okay.
can I
And if
just
you're,
interrupt?
go ahead.
Sorry. You know, when you talk about manual lenses, I mean, just pure manual, doesn't that mean then the camera won't do the metering for your aperture and your shutter and all that, or not?
Your
You know,
metering?
like when you get, you know, like when you put, say, for example, an 85 f 1.2, and I put it in, right, and I focus on you, the camera will decide what's the correct exposure, the correct aperture for the lens
Mhm.
to open up the ISO. But when you have a manual on, does it still, you know, just pure manual lens, will it still tell you the shutter speed, the aperture, and ISO? Or do you've got to have something else for that? Do
Go
you
ahead,
understand what I
Lewis.
mean or not?
Mhm.
Well, if you want the connection, or better said, the EXIF data, like let's say you're doing
Yep,
photography and you want
yep.
that to be added to the memory card with a manual lens, if it's most likely not going to be there. So all of that EXIF data, as far as the information, like hypothetically, if it were a zoom lens, like what range you were at, like what focal length and aperture and all that to be recorded onto the digital side, you get none of that with the manual. It's because
Mm.
it's designed like film, right? And film, we had no
Right.
digital information being transmitted onto the actual film. It was just the
Mhm.
image. So that's how those lenses work. And just to bring it
Mhm.
all the way back to the blazars that we were talking about before, those anamorphic lenses are going to be about $500 because they are manual, no electronics. It's just the
Oh,
lens.
okay.
You understand?
Right.
And that's the way cinema lenses work.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, what I'm trying to get at is, for
Hey,
example, you
Jeff.
know, if
Hey,
I'm
Jeff.
taking,
Jeff, real quick,
yeah,
because I think I was getting what you were saying was, can you do shutter priority or aperture priority on a manual lens, same as you do with a
yeah,
an
thank you.
autofocus lens? That's what you're asking, right?
Yes.
Yep,
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely, because
yes.
all that's
Thank,
being controlled by the camera. You
Yeah.
understand? It's taking the
Mhm.
values that it sees. So just think about like when you put it on auto ISO, right? If you have a
yep,
manual lens with the auto ISO, the sensor
Mhm.
still just determining how much light it's receiving. So you could change the aperture on the manual lens and you would actively see your ISO either go up or down, right, on the digital camera, because the sensor is what's based on it. So the actual ISO, the metering and all that
right,
stuff is being held on the sensor side. The information won't be recorded onto the
Right.
memory
Right.
card like with the
Yeah.
photo, but
fine,
the
okay,
camera will actually still do all of that. So depending on how much light and what's in focus, it will do the aperture priority. So it will automatically
right,
set your ISO, your shutter speed, and so on and so forth.
So,
thank you.
Mhm.
Jeff,
Yeah.
your focusing has nothing to do with your exposure. Your camera will
Mm.
expose
No, no,
automatically, no
no,
matter
I
what
was
lens
talking
you
about
put
like,
on it.
see,
That's
go
number
back
one.
to the film date. No, what I'm saying, go back, right back to the 70s, right? You would have to have a meter, you know, for your shutter, for your aperture, and all that. And you'd have your film that you would buy, 100 speed, 200, 400, whatever it be. So what I was thinking, would a menu, because I don't understand how that process works. Is it in the camera or is it in the
Yes.
lenses itself where it picks up the data?
It's in the
No, it's in
camera.
the camera. Yeah, and that's what I
It's
love
in the
about
camera.
digital photography right now, because you basically have your light meter, you have all that information within the
Yeah, that's
digital
cool.
camera itself.
Right.
So,
Oh,
here's
okay.
a little hack, right? If you're thinking about doing film photography like we did back in the day, instead of carrying all that extra gear, just carry a small,
Yep.
simple little point and shoot digital camera and have it in full auto, so that you can just snap a picture and it can give you the basic settings of what you want to take the photo in, and use those by
Mm.
reverse engineering what ISO and
That's
everything
how
like
I do
that
it. Yeah.
onto your manual
Yeah.
camera, so you can get proper exposure
Oh, that's
instead
a
of
good
carrying
idea.
all that extra gear.
Jeff, didn't
Right.
you say last week that you often would take a picture in the green so you could see what the exposure
No.
settings were and
Yes.
then move
Yes.
them over?
Yes.
So it's
If I get
basically
confused, yeah.
that handheld meter is doing the same thing that your camera is doing, is
Yeah.
what Lewis is saying. Okay. All
Gotcha.
right.
Gotcha.
So to combine what Lewis is saying and what Carlos is
Yeah.
saying, okay, Your metering and all that is not attached to your focus. Whether you're focusing automatically or you're focusing manually, the camera will continue to do what you say. If you want it to be aperture priority, it'll do it. If you want it to be P mode, like I told you to start using P mode, it'll do it.
Yes.
Okay. So you can put a completely, what do they call those lens from yesteryear on there? Okay.
Vintage.
Vintage. Thank you.
Vintage.
You could put a vintage lens on it and the camera will still expose for what it can see.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's
That's
key.
where I'm going. Yeah.
Because it's actually exposing what it can see. All right. Regardless of what else is going on. So on a vintage lens, you're going to pick your f-stop because it's got no other choice. So the camera will actually handle that. I do want to bring Jim into the conversation. Poor guy's sitting on the side and he's going to fall asleep on me. So, you know. But
no, I think it's interesting because it's like you said, that, you know, going back to when I was shooting with the Canon F1, totally manual. And so you were doing exactly what you're saying, Jeff. You would take the lens and you would decide based on the environment, either you'd pick your shutter speed or you'd pick your aperture, and then you adjust the other. And it had a meter, literally a meter that would, you know, you'd go down and you would center it, right?
That's right. Whenever it would go up and down.
Right? Now, like on my current camera, you can still do the same thing, but there's the meter, the EV information is down at the very bottom but because I've been playing with astrophotography, so I have a couple lenses that are completely manual. So when you put them on the camera, you're depending entirely on, you know, adjusting those settings. But yeah, and I kind of miss it. I apparently sold the F1, and I wish I hadn't, because that was really, that camera was a beast. And I did that was going back to high school, because I was the head photographer on the yearbook back in the day. So, but yeah, vintage. I'm vintage.
Wow. Vintage.
I was vintage before vintage was cool.
Believe it or not, I've got a shelf full of vintage lenses up there. So it's.
Oh wow.
I'm glad that Lewis was able to reach into my brain and connect the dots for me.
So, you can't use them on my
gentlemen, I gotta run.
Yeah, it's about time to close up the show. We've been going
Lewis,
an hour.
Are you gonna be there tomorrow, Lewis? Are we having group tomorrow, Lewis? Do you know?
I believe so. I don't see why we wouldn't. But regardless, if Doc and Paul doesn't show up, I'll be there.
Yeah, okay. So I will see you tomorrow then.
I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, bye guys.
Right on, brother.
Well, wait! Don't just say that. Everyone. Where are you going to see them? What's going on?
This is our Masterminds group, our gold group on Saturdays with Doc Rock and everything that that Carlos is a part of. So usually Doc Rock and Paul host it, but if like he was at NAB, they both were. I did last week's Zoom call, so to speak, just to keep the group going.
Got it.
It's good.
So,
it's good.
And then I'll be live.
That watches this can see.
And then you'll be live tomorrow. This is so fun. Thanks, Peter.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun for sure.
Wouldn't you say this is better than me talking for an hour by myself?
Absolutely. You know? Absolutely.
I wasn't asking you because I know you just get rid of me no matter what, you know. Carlos and I tease, but we actually love each other very much.
That's right. That's right.
So, all right, guys. Next, what is it? Next Friday is Good Friday, so I will not be doing a live broadcast. So if you go looking for me, Scotty will be in mourning because he doesn't know what to do. But anyway, so God willing, and the bridge isn't up. I'll see you 2 Fridays from now.
2 Fridays.
So you guys
safe and say awesome all.
Sounds good. Peter, when is your Easter? The Greek Easter is
same. This year is the same. Yeah, that's why I can't be here, because normally the Greek Easter would have happened or it's coming up and I could just, continue on through. But this year, I'd like to watch the church service and participate and stuff.
Yeah,
so
I'm the same way. All right. Have a good night. Good to see you.
Good night, guys. We will see you next week. I'll start Xing you out, so you're going to disappear one at a time.
That would be good. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. I'm going to
All right.
disappear me. How you doing, Jim? Now you get the whole floor.
You got the whole thing. Whole thing. I'm in my yellow room. I've got to do something.
You look fine. Don't take
my life is a study in beige. We got to do something about that. But
if it is, what do they say? If it ain't broke,
it's true.
Don't fix it.
It's true.
So I might stay on a little longer. We'll see how this goes. I wanted to do a little conversation on something a little on the Christian side, and I didn't want to drag everybody else into it, but I enjoy doing that. So I guess it's for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think those, certainly when you go there and I'm on, I enjoy it.
Are you going to sleep now? Are you already going bye-bye?
No, I didn't take a pill yet.
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to say it online. Okay. So, all right, then I'll say goodnight to you too.
Okie doke.
All right.
Good to see you.
Good night. So that leaves the rest of us. Let me take the earplugs out because they actually hurt. Okay. Oh, man, I got to get some more comfortable ones. So, I started with word games earlier tonight. I guess I can go over to the regular cameras, let them revolve on their own. Hi there. Which one are you? You're the Nikon. Okay. And I wound up with these word games quite accidentally because, have you ever been told something, but then you need it told to you again? And you really wouldn't want to admit that to anybody. But I went to Miami. It was called back then Miami Christian College. Now it's called Trinity University. So I've had some training on Bible study. And I'm not giving you a Bible study now, okay? So don't get all weirded out on me. But the training is how to take any specific scripture that you want to and take it apart. Look up each word in the Greek. Find out where else it's used, how it's used in other places. And all of this is called two things. One is called apologetics, and the other one is called exegesis. I don't know how they got either one of those two words because they don't make sense to me. But that is like what we learned for learning the f-stops or the shutter speeds for cameras or how the f-stops affect the background blur. You do the studies on that, regardless of what, in the religious side, what religion you are. You need to learn how to do an exegesis and so on and so forth. So I've done it on a few topics. When Jingles was killed, okay, I had a well-meaning Christian come up and tell me that Jingles was not going to be in heaven because dogs don't go to heaven. They have no soul and blah, blah, blah. And boy, that sent me into a real serious tizzy. So it took me a while and to go back in my own education and do an exegesis, find the scriptures, and do a study on do our pets go to heaven or not? And that is not my topic for tonight. But the answer is most clearly yes. The reason they go to heaven might be something that we could argue about. Okay, so my reasoning on the studying and the ripping apart of scriptures and stuff. Do you remember the story in the Old Testament of Jonah and the whale? God told Jonah, go do something. And it was specifically, go to these people that are in this city called Nineveh and tell them, repent. And it was kind of like the Arabs telling something to the Jews. Most of them don't like each other. And Jonah did not like Nineveh. He didn't like the city. So he rejected God's command or order or direction. Go do this. And he said, no. I'm not sure I would have the balls to say no to God if something came across to me, completely clear. Go do this. And I'm going to say no. You got to have some guts to do that. Okay. So Jonah said no. Well, God said, I will fix him. No, you don't get away that easy. So he was down at the beach and he was swallowed by a whale. Okay. A whale swallowed him whole. Now, when you get into the whale's belly, there ain't no lights in there. There's no light switch. There's no deodorizer. You've got digestion going on. It's a smelly catastrophe. Anyway, there's a reason God put this story there, okay? He was in the belly of the whale for 3 days and 3 nights, mimicking what was to come for Jesus, that he was going to be 3 days and 3 nights, actually, it says 3 days. And then anyway, after a while, I guess the whale decided it could not digest Jonah after he had swallowed him. So he threw him up, and he threw him up on land. And guess where he threw him up? Threw him up right at the gates of the city of Nineveh, where God wanted him to go to begin with. And he didn't get swallowed there. He got swallowed someplace else, okay? So who knows where the whale swam for 3 days. And if you can't see, you could probably get dizzy. Probably needs a counseling session from Carlos after that. So this man, full of seaweed, all wrapped up and everything, walks up to the city, and he's still upset. I don't understand how stubborn a man can be. He's still upset, so he goes up to the city, perches himself on a high spot, and just raises his hand and shouts out, "Repent! Repent! Repent!" Turns around and walks away. I'm sure he's got strings of seaweed dragging behind him, and he's, smelly, probably needs a shower, change of clothes. And God catches up to him, and he sees that Jonah, has got a sourpuss on his face. And God says to Jonah, why is your countenance, meaning your facial setup, okay? Why is it down? You did what I said. And don't you know that most, or I think it says the entire or most of the city turned to me? They repented. They got saved, or whatever the terms are. I'm paraphrasing. You should be joyful that all these people turned to God. Now, here's the key. Remember what I said? The exegesis, taking it apart. And he said, all the people repented, and 120,000 animals were saved. Oh man, did my ears perk up. 120,000 animals because the man said repent? But even more important, God used the word saved in conjunction with the animals. So the city repented, and 120,000 animals were saved. That's pretty big news if you're thinking if your dog, when it dies, or your pet, could be a cat, is in heaven or not. God took the time to write it down in his Bible for the fact that these animals got saved. So this is right out of the mouth of God. So I've got about 15 of those. Okay. Another simple one that you might remember is they tried to trick Jesus, into doing something on healing somebody on the Sabbath. And Jesus' response contained an animal. Okay. He said, what man would let his son fall into a ditch, or his animal? And even if it was a Sabbath, he wouldn't go in and save him. What a wretched man that would be. Okay. Now, Jesus is kind of famous for love your neighbor, love yourself, and love your neighbor. Be kind to your neighbor. You do to what you want to plant seeds for other people, for yourself. It's always aimed at neighbors. And yet, this time around, why didn't he say if your son fell in a ditch, or if your neighbor fell in a ditch, what kind of a man, even if it was on a Sabbath, wouldn't go in? But he didn't say that. Jesus this time said something completely different. He said, if your son falls in the ditch, or your animal falls in a ditch, even if it was the Sabbath, would you not go in and save them? Seriously, what kind of a guy are you that you wouldn't go in and save them? Again, he used saving with the animals. Now remember, my dog had died and I was distraught, okay? Whatever reason it was. If you're sitting there thinking like Peter, get over it, there was circumstances and I was not in a good frame of mind. So in my studying, I have found time after time where God has showed the animals being saved. When God was going to save man with the flood, he not only saved the Noah and his family, which, by the way, there was 8 of them, okay? And that's why the number of 8 is associated with a new beginning, because those 8 went on the ark and they were saved. But there was something else that went on the ark. 2 of every animal. God saved the animals again. So things were looking up, okay? And one of the final scriptures that I came across was something to believe on and honor in Jesus, and you and your household will be saved. Now, that's a scripture a lot of theologians have a little bit of a problem with, because salvation means not to go to hell, which would be separation from God, but to be in heaven. And in order to be in heaven, you need to receive, a new life. That's why it's called a new birth. Okay. So you and your household will be saved. So I immediately caught on to that. This is saving again. So we're talking about save, meaning my dog is not gone forever, that I'll never see him again. So that's how these scriptures catch my mind. I want my dog to be saved. I don't want to find out that there's this thing called a rainbow bridge. I've read all about that. That's so silly. There is no rainbow bridge. Okay, there's nothing in the Bible about a rainbow bridge. Okay, there's in the Bible about rainbows. All right. So you and your household. So I guess the key thing I needed to study out there is, what is my household? Because the rest of the Bible teaches that you need to make the confession. You need to have an acceptance of the Lord to get into the family of God. That's what the Christianity part of the Bible teaches. Okay. The Judaism part teaches how you get there. How does that happen? Okay. And that is where a person will bring a lamb, and it needs to be perfect and spotless. The Bible actually says without blemish. Needs to take that lamb, take his family, and take a little trip and go see the high priest. Now, the high priest does not examine the man, and he does not examine the family, but he examines the lamb that they brought. And once that the high priest proclaims that this lamb is acceptable, it's perfect and without blemish, okay, the man with his family will lay his hands on this sheep, and there will be an exchange. The sins of the man go on the sheep, and the perfectness of the sheep go on the man and his family. And that exchange is good for a year, according to the Jewish traditions. It's the rabbi that actually proclaims that this lamb is acceptable. Then the lamb is actually killed, so the sins die. The lamb is roasted, it's cooked, okay? The priest himself gets the certain portions that the Bible tells you what they are as food for the priest, and then the rest of the family feasts on that lamb. And for a year, the husband, the wife, the children, whoever they got there, are going to be remembering that they're in God's favor now for a year, because the sins that they had got moved over and placed onto the lamb. Okay, so that's what Judaism teaches you, what the sacrifice is about. And then as Christians, we take it and we make it so that Jesus is the Lamb. And in Jesus, in Christ, we get the benefits of what happened to the Lamb in the Old Testament. We get the benefits in the New Testament. We receive the righteousness of Jesus. God accepted him as a perfect and spotless sacrifice. Okay? So that is what's called salvation. Now, how do you define you and your household will be saved? Because it's not a given thing that my wife would be saved or somebody like that. They need to accept Christ on their own. So my kitchen cabinets, my dishwasher, my refrigerator is not my household. What else is my household? Well, we have to look over to how Jesus defined it when he said, if your son or your animal falls in the ditch, wouldn't you break the law of the Sabbath? That's an Old Testament rule from Judaism. Wouldn't you break the law of the Sabbath to go save your son from the pit or save your animal from the pit? And it said with an expectation that you would do that you wouldn't, oh, well, I'll wait till tomorrow. The Sabbath will be over. They could die down there. Okay. So I'm thinking this applies to my animal, which would be Jingles. You guys have been here long enough to know his name. I'm in the Christmas room. My dog's name was Jingles, and I called him Jingle Bells. Come here, Jingle Bells. Come here, baby. Okay. So that is what gave me the hope based on the study in the scripture of the fact that me and my household means that when I get to heaven, I will get to see Jingle Bells. He will be there. So I can actually say this, and I say it respectfully and humbly, because I'm a Christian. I can have a assurance that because I have received Christ, this is for me personally. If you're in a different religion, don't worry about it. Everyone's got a right to their own way, okay? And I respect your right to your own way. I don't trample anybody's rights, but you can't trample mine either. I get the right to believe what I want, okay, for my life. So I believe that Jingles is in heaven because I have received Christ. I have accepted him as my Lord and Savior. And that is what we're going to be celebrating this coming week, is the work that Jesus did. See, we can't do it by our works. Can't be good. Can't slip an extra $20 in the plate. You can't help the homeless. You can't adopt a child or be a father to the fatherless or something and get into heaven. The sins have to come off you. Now remember the lamb in Judaism? The sins came off the man and went into the lamb, and all the perfectness, the righteousness of that lamb went into the man. It was an exchange, like that. Okay, the same thing happens with Jesus. This week that we're about to enter is full of activity, okay? Lots and lots of activity. So the day or two before Jesus died, he got hungry, and they were walking, okay? The day or two before he was crucified, okay? And they came upon a fig tree, and this fig tree was someplace that Jesus was going towards to get food. He was hungry. The Bible actually says he was hungry. Okay, I'm not making that part up. And Jesus went, and it says there was no figs on the tree. And there's a lot of Christians, preachers, scholars, theologians that say, well, that tree was supposed to have flowers on it that would bear fruit, because the Bible says that it was not even the season for that tree to bear fruit. So, long story short, Jesus cursed the fig tree. Okay? And I believe everybody misses the meaning of what happened there. Was Jesus mad at the fig tree? Was the fig tree on somebody's property and Jesus just cursed your tree? Because they came back that road the same way on the next day. The fig tree withered up and died in 24 hours. Jesus cursed it because it didn't have the food on it that was supposed to be there. Okay? But I believe this is giving us a lesson and an insight, actually, on a couple of things that Jesus was 1 or 2 days before he was going to be crucified. So he knew that. So you don't think if you were going to die 2 days from now and it was going to be a horrible death, that it would be on your mind? Okay. Now, what's the reason that he was going to die? He was the lamb that was going to be sacrificed for us. And when all that was completed, when that work was completed, all that was left to do is for us individually to accept it for ourselves. It's that simple. This is not pie in the sky, okay? And this is not a rocket science either. You accept that Jesus was the perfect lamb for you, for me. I accept him as my perfect lamb. He died for me and he was raised from the dead. That's my receipt that God accepted what Jesus did, and I get what's called salvation, saved, okay? So, oh, I didn't say why he cursed the fig tree. If you go all the way back to Adam and Eve kind of screwed it up. God said, don't do that. And they did. God said, don't do that. Don't eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Okay? Because if you do eat from that tree, you will surely die. Now, there's all kinds of arguments. Some people say it was an apple tree, etc., etc. Okay, the point is there was a tree, they knew which one it was, and they were told not to eat it. Satan came and tempted the woman, not the man, okay, because Satan couldn't approach the man because they're made in the image of God, both of them, but the man was the head of that household, just two, Adam and Eve. Right? He convinced the woman, God said that you would surely die. God knows you will surely not die. Okay? And when they did that, the story's there for us all to enjoy. But what Adam and Eve did is they went to try to correct the situation. We did something wrong. We need to fix it. The way they fixed it was they made clothing out of fig leaves. Okay? And what I think was going on in Jesus's mind was that the fig leaf act that Adam and Eve did is why in just a day or two he's going to suffer a terrible death. So that's why that fig tree with a system of fixing it ourselves. See, we want to fix things. Something breaks, my camera breaks, I want to fix it. Okay? If something breaks in the garage or in my car, I want to fix it. I'm a man. That's what I'm designed to do. Fix things. But God is telling us we cannot fix it. There is no way to bypass around Jesus and his finished work. There is one way to bypass Jesus, and that is to die for our own sins, but that would be death, and that would be non-productive, because if you die, you've accomplished nothing. So Jesus died for us. So when Jesus cursed that fig tree, he was cursing the system of each of us seeing us as our own Savior, our own way to fix things with God. I'm going to say I'm sorry. I'm going to repent. I'm going to confess my sins. If any of that would work, then the death of God's Son, the Messiah, Yeshua, okay, would have been a death in vain. We would now be preaching, you need to do this to get into heaven. But Jesus said, I am the only way. That leaves no room. And you can't argue with me. You got to argue with him. He has stated that there is no other way outside of him. That is what we're going to celebrate next week. And on Easter Sunday, when you have your lunch or your brunch or you get together with the family, it'd be nice to remember the whole reason for Easter is the resurrection of a man that died for us. Okay? And it didn't end there. He was raised from the dead 3 days later. Okay? And when he was raised from the dead, he was raised without our sins. Remember in Judaism, the sins of the man were put onto the little lamb. Okay? So with Jesus, the sins of Peter, this is Peter, were put on Jesus. And when Jesus died, okay, my sins are gone. They're dead. And when Jesus was raised from the dead, the sins didn't come back. The sins that I've done have in the past, in the present, and in the future have all been paid for by someone else. And that someone else is Jesus. Alrighty? So you guys have a good Easter. I started to tell you something and I kind of abandoned that train of thought. And I won't remind you as to what it is. All right, guys. We still have a few people here, so I'm surprised. Jeff is reminding. Oh, Alex came in and said hi. Hi, Alex. I love you, buddy. And Mr. Camera Junkie said bye, which means he's long gone. And Jeff is reminding me it's Randy's birthday. I'll sing happy birthday for him. And Tim is here, Tim Hunter. I think if the thought of a rainbow bridge provides comfort to those that have suffered loss, harms no one, and is a similar to going to the light in Christianity. Okay, thank you for your opinion. I might not agree with it, but I do agree with the first part. If something brings comfort to someone, I think you're right, Tim. I think it would be helpful. However, if it darkens or distorts a truth that's there, that's actually the real reason why a pet and how you can hang your hat on that hook, I would think that would be more productive. Okay. So, and not only that, Tim, the people that say that, they honestly, they mean well. They're trying to console you, condolences, make you feel better, because you could feel really, really bad when you lose a pet. And that might be the only thing, the only thing they have in their arsenal to help you. Their intentions are very, very godly. So, yes, Tim, I'll give you a partial credit on that one. Okay, but the Rainbow Bridge is not the way that our pets are going to heaven. That is interesting how the church came up with this idea about animals. Yet I remember Jingles when I started watching. So you remember him. Some people actually had the audacity to say, "We don't watch for you, we watch for Jingles," and that made me happy, especially after he was killed. That Jeff says that is why Easter means so much to me: the death and the resurrection of Jesus. That's our ticket to heaven. And Jeff says, I must say bye. Stay safe over the holiday break. All of you say stay safe, and I will see you guys. You know I love you. I do get what some of you will call preachy, but it's at the end. I'm not asking to be excused for it, because I spend all this time on this live show, which is a talk. And I purposely put my Christian views and everything at the end so that people could just leave and they don't think that there's more camera stuff to come, because there isn't. We finished it. We had all those guests tonight. Yay. Thank you to each and every one. Carlos was here. I love Carlos so much. He's such a kind, loving man. Scotty, another wonderful, wonderful guy. And he plays piano and he goes as a band and plays gigs, but he will also play gigs for nursing homes and elderly homes. So, he does his part to be a comfort and a help for other people. Hal's got a huge job. They got, how many cameras did he say? 17? Some huge amount. I don't remember the number. But he runs and helps run those cameras, and he runs one of them that's on a jib, one that's on a pole that he can move around. So that's quite a thing. So thank you, Hal, for being here. Thank you, Scotty, for being here. Thank you, Carlos, for being here. And Jim Monday was here. Thank you, Jim Monday, for coming in. And I tapped him late. He should have gone to bed. And the man is my friend, and that's why he came in. And Lewis is another, my friend, Mr. Camera Junkie. He'll be on tomorrow night, and I'm guessing he's going to either take off of some of the stuff we talked about, or he's going to say something completely new and very, very interesting. So I'm going to say goodnight to you guys. I don't know if I'm going to go eat something now. I should not. But I don't know. I got a habit of having a snack at night. Patty says, thank you for sharing Jesus. It's the most important part I could share. That's what I'm thinking inside. Now I just said it out loud. So love you, Patty. Thank you. So thank you, guys. I will see you in 2 weeks. There's a possibility, not likely, that I might just do an impromptu show. So if you're subscribed to the channel and you've got that notification bell, it'll tell you that I'm coming on. Other than that, I love you. I'm ready to say goodnight and catch you on the flip-flop. Oh, I wanted to add something to my, if God is willing and the bridge isn't up. Okay, I wanted to add something more. My goal is the sky and not the grave. So it'll go something like this. Ahem. So if God is willing and the bridge isn't up, I will see you in 2 weeks. And my goal is the sky and not the grave. Bye. I did it.